good to go. So, as all of you have been coming to the classes regularly, you know that we've been putting a little bit more emphasis on our core, and we'll continue to do that, but we'll still incorporate neck and shoulders and other things as well. So props, well, I want us to start doing some of our big abdominal breathing today. So if you have that heavier book or you have a cork block, that would work best. If you just have a foam yoga block, that will work as well because you'll still feel the same sensations, but a little heavier item is going to give you a little bit more sensation. And when we do our belly breathing or yogic breathing, ideally it's best to be as flat as possible to the floor. But if you still want to take your pillows and bolsters to the front of your mat to give your legs underneath the knees a little additional support, feel free to do so. And of course, any support for behind the head. So if you do have blocks, you can have those near your mat, some type of eye covering for the end of class. Cushions, blankets, or towels to use to sit on, and assistance in some of our other poses. And then today I have this blue exercise ball. You don't need one of these. You can use a pillow, you can use a yoga block, but I'm going to give us a different option when we do our yogi sit-ups at the end of class or our leg lifts. It's kind of a fun, another little way to do that using some type of prop. So if you happen to have a ball around the house, you have kids and they have a ball, you can borrow theirs, or you'll use a block, a pillow, or something else. But don't worry about that right now. That'll be more towards the end of class. So let's get started. Get into our yoga. So like I said, we'll start with some of our deeper abdominal breathing. This breath will help wake up these muscles and get us using our diaphragm. So it really helps improve our lung capacity and the depth of our breath. So we'll bring ourselves down onto the ground. And like I said, you can take some additional support, but for abdominal breathing, it's generally best to be as flat as possible. So when we start to come down, we'll want to lengthen out that lower buttock, let the low back sink to the ground. Knees bent up with a pillow behind the knees is an option, or just extending those legs out in Shavasana. We'll want to organize our shoulders here, and then once you get comfortable and you've loosened things up, we'll take our prop, and you want it right on the soft part of the belly. So we don't want it touching the ribs, and it shouldn't be down on the pubic bone, but just right on top of the softest part of our belly that we can find. And once that's there, we'll take those arm bones, allow them to roll open beside the body, turning the palms up and relaxing the fingertips. Give the head a little rock side to side here. And then eventually we'll find the very back center of our skull. If we need to open the legs a little wider, adjust the feet, the shoulders. Remember, we want to make all those adjustments here in the beginning so that we can eventually press that pause button and find stillness in our pose. So once we get comfortable, we close the eyes. And we start to relax the whole body, feeling the weight of the body and the connection of our body with the ground below. Feeling a sense of release. We'll start to let our mind drop back down towards the ground, bringing our mind, our concentration and thoughts inward. And let's start to connect and check in with the body, the breath, and the brain. So starting with our physical body, we'll start to mentally scan it from the crown of our head down to our fingertips and toes. Continuing to relax all the muscles, especially all those little muscles around the face, the mouth, tongue, and jaw. Relaxing down the arms into those hands and fingertips. Relaxing all the way down the legs into the feet and toes. Relaxing around the whole torso, so softening the heart and chest, the back of the heart between the shoulder blades, down the back, releasing the low back to the ground. And then all the way around the waist into the abdomen and belly. And as we're moving through our body this morning, if we woke up with any tender areas, maybe areas that are going to need a little extra attention or TLC, let's also relax those areas, remembering that we never strain, push, or force the body through our practice. Sthira Sukham Asanam, a smooth and steady pose. We always want to cultivate this ease and steadiness throughout our practice. And now let's begin to notice the natural breath of our body this morning. Simply observing how the body breathes, how the body is flowing in and out, where it moves, any subtle movements or sounds that our natural breath might be making. And then we'll take this awareness and this breathing a little bit deeper this morning, in and around back to that belly and abdominal area. So this is the place of Manipura chakra, lustrous gem. Around the navel center, our solar plexus. It associates with our digestion, metabolism, our core strength. And on a more subtle level, when we work with this area, it helps build up our self-confidence, esteem, and willpower. So as we take this breath a little bit deeper now, we'll start to notice the rise and fall of the belly with the breath. On our inhales, we want to relax those abdominal muscles as much as possible and purposely try to lift our prop up as high as we can. And on our exhales, we allow the weight of the prop to drop back down into the body. And we add a contraction here, drawing the navel towards the spine, pulling that prop down as low as we can. On the inhale, we relax, we let the belly lift, we lift up the prop, dropping the diaphragm down, pulling that breath deep into our lungs. And on those exhales, pulling the weight back down into the body, contracting the abdominal muscles, pushing the diaphragm up to help expel all that stale old air out of the lungs. Now we'll all move at our own comfortable pace. The next layer that we'd like to add to this pranayama is Samavritti pranayama, or even equal breathing. So as we're breathing in and out through the nose, whenever we get to our next inhale, we can mentally count that inhale. And then when we get to our exhale, we breathe the same number back out, whatever number it is that works for our bodies today. And we'll follow a few more cycles here. Over time, we'll be able to start to expand and increase this breath even more by adding 1 or 2 more counts to both the inhale and the exhale. And now let's all take one more nice cycle of breathing and letting this one breath be our biggest breath of our day so far. So whenever we get to that next inhale, we're just going to breathe in as much as we possibly can, Expand the abdomen, fill up the torso, allow the chest and the ribs to expand all the way up to the brim and the throat. And then when we get to that next exhale, we just exhale, take as much time as we need to squeeze it all out. So contract, squeezing, exhaling, and push all the breath out of the body. And then at the bottom of that exhale, we will let go of trying to follow and control the breath for a moment. So let it go, let it wander away wherever it wants to. Start to feel the physical body, its connection with the ground below. And we'll subtly start to wake the body up. So just giving the toes a little wiggle, the fingertips, a rock of the head side to side. And then we'll take our prop off of our belly and place it off to the side of our mat here. Let's bring the legs down the middle of our mat. On the next inhale, we'll reach our arms up overhead and just stretch the body out into our long body stretch here. Point and flex the feet a couple times. Start spreading those toes, spread the fingers. Stretch out from side to side. And then on the exhale, let's float those arms down, step the feet in, and draw the belly in to hug the knees in. If we have a prop down there underneath our legs, let's pull it out of the way as well. And let's hug our knees in and do a gentle rock side to side here. And then we'll take our hands behind our thighs and extend those legs straight up to the ceiling. Holding under the thighs, try to straighten the legs up. We can press our thighs forward into our hands. Point and flex the feet a couple times here. And then let's flex those feet, hold the outer thighs, opening the legs into Supta Konasana, wide angle stretch. This is a big stretch first thing in the morning, so we'll support the outside of the legs as needed. Roll the ankles. If we feel like we're able to go deeper, we'll move the hands to the inside, massage those muscles, allowing gravity to help us out here. Take a nice big breath in. And then on the exhale, let's squeeze those legs back up towards the ceiling. Now from here, hold on to just the right leg and lower the left leg all the way down to the ground. So we're going to concentrate just on the right leg here for a little bit more. So we have a grip behind the right thigh. The left leg is anchored to the ground. The low back should be flat to the ground. Let's try to push that right thigh bone more forward into our hands, really pressing the heel of the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then let's point through the feet. So point the toes of both feet. And maybe reach the hands up a little higher to the calf muscle and float the head up here, trying to give the back of the right leg a little bit more of a stretch. Continue to pull the low belly in. And if you're like me, I'm really stiff this morning, so I don't have a lot of stretch and movement here, but that's okay. We're just warming up. Big breath in. On the exhale, relax the head down, bend the right knee, take a hold of the right shin bone. Unless you take care of your knees, and you can continue to hold behind the right thigh. Pavanamuktasana. We're drawing the right knee towards our right shoulder to give our hip a little bit of a stretch and to compress that abdominal area now. So on the exhale, we're pulling a little bit more. Shoulders are pulling down, elbows in. Breathe it in. And on the exhale, we're going to let it go. So you're just going to slide the right foot down to the floor and all the way back out. Inhale, both arms reach overhead. Long body stretch. Let the low back gently arch here and stretch out the abs. Exhale, floats both arms down. Walk both feet in. Pull the belly in to hug the knees in. Hands behind the thighs, reach both legs up. Waterfall pose, point and flex the feet. Now hold just behind the left thigh. Slowly lower the right leg all the way to the ground. Anchor it to the floor. Feet are flexing. Press that left heel up. Hands are behind that left thigh, and we're pushing our left thigh actively pushing that thigh bone forward into the meaty part of the muscle and into those hands, really trying to straighten that leg out. And this is a little bit of strengthening as well. Now point through the feet, so both toes are pointing. Hands walk up a little higher to try to deepen the stretch. Head may float up as well. Low back should stay nice and flat to the floor. One more big breath in. Exhale, relax the head down, bend the left knee, hands to left shin bone. Exhale, draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. So we'll feel maybe a little pinching across the front of that left hip crease as it stretches the hip. Compression in the left abdominal wall. Right leg should stay grounded. One more big breath in. On the exhale, release the foot, slide it down and out. Inhale, arms overhead, take a big stretch out on the mat. Exhale, both arms float back down. Walk the feet in towards those sit bones. Feet are parallel to each other. Those of us that have a yoga block, let's take that yoga block, placing it between our inner thighs to help with the alignment. If we do not have a prop, keep your knees same distance apart as your toes and your feet. Bring those shoulders under, tightening up the backside, flowing bridge pose. We'll inhale, squeeze the back to lift the hips up. And then on our exhale, we'll lower down. So now we're flowing with the breath again. So move with your breath. Your inhale should take you up. And the exhale should lower you down to the same rhythm. So we want to have that Samavritti pranayama. So if you're inhaling for 1, 2, 3, we've lifted. We should exhale back down for 1, 2, 3. If we want a little bit more here for our shoulders and upper back, we'll squeeze the backside. Inhale, hips up, arms up, all the way overhead. Remembering that the weight should move into the shoulders, not the neck. And exhale, take just as much time to come all the way down, arms down. So let's take this a few more times. Setu Bandhasan stretches the front body, strengthens the back body. And one more round. As we lift a little higher, it turns into a gentle inversion as well. So on that next exhale, when we lower down, that's where we'll meet. We'll take the props out if they're there. We'll walk our feet as wide as our mat, keep the knees bent. Cactus the arms from the shoulders, so drop the elbows out, bending at the elbows, and drop the backs of the hands towards the ground. Flowing windshield wiper pose. Take a breath in. On the exhale, let the knees fall over to the right. Allow the left side to gently arch up off the ground. The inhale will pull us up through center. The exhale, knees move to the left. And remember, those knees aren't stacked. They're like the windshield wipers of a car. And again, let our breath be our guide, moving smoothly. Now turn the head the opposite direction of the knees to counter twist the neck. So this is a gentle twist, a hip stretch, and a little subtle gentle back bend side to side as well, especially if we're getting those knees a little closer to the floor. So we'll rock it out and we'll go one more time to each side. So we'll let the knees fall one more time to our right side and one more time to our left. It's also a nice massage for our low back and across our SI joints in the sacrum. After you've gone one more time to the left, let's float the knees right back up to center. Pull the low belly in, draw the knees in, and sweep your hands back onto the shin bones and rock it out. Head floats up towards the knees if you want a little bit more stretch for that back. And then let's bring the head down, bring the right arm beside the head, and we'll roll to our right side and pause for a moment. And then we'll press into the ground and bring our bodies up. And good morning again. So we will come right into a seated pose. A little support underneath those sit bones would be ideal to help keep our spine nice and tall. We'll do our couple rounds of our Kapalabhati breathing as we've been doing. So if you have a tight waistband, you need to hike it up or make sure your belly can be pretty comfortable and free. The legs will be in any comfortable seated position, so whether you're crossing at the ankles in Sukhasana or heel to heel, and if you're higher up, just take more support for the outside of the knees. Sitting up tall is most important here. Bringing hands into Chin Mudra, index finger to thumb, palms up for this energizing breath. Remembering that this is an active exhale and a passive inhale. So we're not trying to suck any air in. The abdominal muscles, when they were relaxed, will work like a vacuum to pull that little bit of air in. We are simply concentrating on exhaling and contracting. And every time you exhale out through the nose, you'll feel a force, probably a little bit of a sound, and a snapping in of the belly. Now, since we're all at home, we can move at whatever pace works for us. Some of us might want to go a little bit faster. If you're new to this breath, you can go slower and just try to get the exhale down. We'll do 2 rounds, about 60 seconds each, or about 50. It can also help to mentally count the breath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, as you're going through it. So we'll sit up tall. Ears just floating over the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Eyes focused on one point, or close the eyes at this point. Start to bring that awareness around the belly. You're always welcome to place one hand on the belly if it helps you concentrate. Inhale through the nose, relax the belly. Exhale all the way out through the nose. And then try to start with an exhale. So exhale, contract, exhale, contract, exhale, contract. Once you get into your rhythm, it should start to flow a little bit more naturally. Halfway there. These don't have to be super powerful. They might be lighter little contractions. If you get tired, if you get any cramping or discomfort, you want to stop and take a break. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big exhale. And then completely relax. Let go of the breath. Mind either concentrates at Agnya Chakra at third eye center more traditionally, but since we are focusing a little bit more on our powerhouse here, we can also just focus the mind right at that navel center, and we just observe any sensations, feelings, thoughts that might be floating around without attachment, without judgment. It is an invigorating breath. And we'll give it one more go. So one more round, move at your own pace. Concentrated exhale, passive inhale. Do your best. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out. And then begin. Exhale, 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 exhale. Contract, contract, contract. Halfway there. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Let it go, relax, and concentrate. And then let it go. Next inhale, we'll start to softly float the eyes open if we had them closed. We'll give our legs a quick break. We are going to come back to a seat with the opposite leg in front, so make a mental note of which leg is in front. We can bring our fingertips beside the hips, give our legs stretch out, give them a little wiggle. Let's do our little bit of articulation in our feet so the blood can start flowing back down towards them. So sit up tall in Tadasana, bend your knees a little bit more if you're higher up. Flex the feet so the toes are spreading. Look at your toes. Try to get them all in one line. So we really kind of concentrate from that outer foot up the outer calf. On the exhale, we try to curl the toes up first and then point them forward, stretching out the tops of the feet and the ankles. Spread the toes. Inhale, pull them back. Curl the toes up. Exhale, point them forward. Inhale, spread and pull, all in one line as best you can. And then one more time, curl them up nice and tight, point them forward. Spread and pull, pull, pull. And then relax. So opposite foot in front. Sit up tall on those sit bones. We will continue to pull that lower abdominal in to help sit up through the spine. Fingertips float up beside the body. Turn the palms up. Inhale, breathing. Let's take a nice big stretch up to the ceiling. Palms out. Exhale, fingertips float back down. Upavishta Trikonasana, seated triangle, right arm only. Inhale up. Keep your sit bones rooted. Exhale, lean over to the left. So we're pulling our ribs away from the hips. Inhale takes us up through center. Switch those arms. Exhale, sit bones stay rooted. Lean over to the right. One more time to each side. Follow the breath. Keep the head in line with the spine, or maybe taking our drishti upwards. We'll take it one more time over to our right. Next inhale, we meet up at center, both arms up. A nice active twist, so we'll use our muscles here. Exhale, rotate to the right. So the muscles pull you into the twist as we rotate around the axis of that spine. We may reach towards the opposite knee, no weight in the hands. Shoulders, neck, head, and eyeballs can peek behind us. Inhale, bring everything back up to center. Good. Exhale, rotate and twist to the left. Bring it out, use your eyes, peek behind you. Squeeze those muscles. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, come back to the right. Now breathe and hold the twist. So we're going to hold the twist here. Let the head, neck, and eyes follow. One more nice deep breath in. Keep the twist in the body. Exhale, we'll turn just our head, so look forward. And now let's try to peek over our left shoulder. So a nice counter twist for our neck here. You may keep the chin parallel to the floor or look slightly downward to get a little deeper stretch for the back of the neck. We'll take one more breath in. The exhale, we release. So we bring the head and the body straight back forward. Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, twisting to our left. Keep the spine tall. Crown of the head continues to extend to the ceiling. Take the eyes behind the body. We'll take a breath here. One more inhale. Our exhale, just the head looks forward. And then we try to look and breathe over our right shoulder, counter twisting the neck. Chin parallel or gaze down to the opposite knee if you want a little bit more up the back of the neck. But keep that body twisting to the left. Breathe it in. Exhaling, release the head and the body to face forward. Inhale, both arms up. Big stretch here. Reach it all the way up to the ceiling. Bring those palms to touch. Exhale to center. All right, good job, y'all. Let's make our transition to tabletop. However is easiest for you to reorganize your body in your space. Nice wide foundation, nice strong arms. So let's not lock out our elbows, push into the ground so we feel some of our muscles in our arms working this morning. Knees stack right underneath the hips. Feel free to keep your toes tucked under if you're working on flexibility in the feet and you want to stretch out the fascia of the feet, or pointing the toes. Do pull in that low belly just to keep the spine in neutral and be mindful where the head is in space. Flowing cat-cow with the breath. Inhale, relax the abdomen down. Lift and lengthen from the tip of the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. The eyes can roll up to the third eye here. Exhale, draw the belly in, tuck that tailbone under. Tuck the chin to the chest and the drishti moves towards the belly button. Now follow that Samavriti, even equal breath in and out of the pose. If we need a little bit more of one of those, feel free to hang out in it this morning. So if you feel real stiff and tight like I do, and we need more stretching of the muscles, maybe a little bit longer on our cat stretch and rounding. If you're getting any discomfort and nerve pain from compressed discs, a little bit more in your back bend to help decompress. Let's balance ourselves out, come back to neutral, and stretch out that back in our child's pose. So opening the knees wide, keep the toes touching, draw the hips back and down to the heels. More for the chest and shoulders, open your hands as wide as the yoga mat, really extending the fingertips forward, and then melting the belly, heart, and head to the ground. We're also to take this more passively and place the hands under the forehead, especially if the head doesn't easily touch the ground. But try to really drive those hips back and down. If you take care of your knees, obviously sit back on a pillow or blanket or keep your hips higher up. And we'll give our low back a nice stretch and open those hips and let that heart sink towards the ground. One more breath. Inhale, floats the head and the body back up. Realign the body. And let's walk ourselves towards the back of our mat a little bit more so we have space in front. So we'll come down to our bellies here. Let's tuck the toes under. Make sure your knees are stacked under the hips. Walking those hands at least one hand's distance forward. Contract that Uddiyana Bandha, lower abdominal lock. Inhale, glide back forward into kneeling plank. Shoulders over wrists. Nice straight line from the crown of the head to our knees. Really tuck that tailbone under. Exhale, take a bow. Now when we bow down, the head doesn't need to touch, but if you want to give your wrists a break, pop up those palms, rounding through the knuckles into our Hasta Bandha. Inhale, flatten the hands, come forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, take a bow. Adding our half chaturanga here, building that strength through the upper body. Inhale, kneeling plank. Now this doesn't have to be a big bend. It might be a centimeter or two in the elbows. What's most important is that the spine stays in neutral. Exhale, take a bow. And that the low back doesn't collapse. Inhale, kneeling plank. Keep the gaze slightly forward. Don't let the head do the work. We're working the back to those upper arm bones and our core. Exhale, take a bow. Next time we come forward, we're going to try to do 3 in a row. Good job. Awesome. Give me 1. Exhale. Inhale, straighten. 2. Keep those bellies in. Good job. 3. A little hard this morning. This next one, we're going to come all the way down. So exhale. Try to go as slow as you can. We'll end up on our belly. We'll slide our hands right underneath the shoulders, pull the elbows in, chin forward. Flatten out the tops of the feet, legs are wider than the hips if we take care of the low back, or glue the feet and legs together into your cobra's tail. Inhale, breathing, contract those back muscles, float the heart. Keep the neck long. Do use your glutes here, nice strong legs, or tightening, compact the hips. Take breaks as needed this morning, and we'll continue through our back strengthening. The core wraps all the way around, floating the hands up, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Breathing into Ardha Shalabhasana. Shalabhasana, those arms beside the body. So you're straightening the arms, reaching the fingertips to the heels. The palms are facing the ground. Single leg locust pose. Squeeze your right side and lift that straight leg up from the hip. Exhale it down. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale down. Repeat one leg at a time, or Purna Shalabhasana. Everything lifts. So you're squeezing. Body stays long. Back of the neck is long. Nice, powerful pose. Good job. Give me one more big breath in. And exhale, flop to the floor, prone Shavasana. Head turns to one side or stack your forehead on your hands. Arms flop down, palms up. Let your heels flop open. Notice the sensations of the body. Come back to a smooth, even breath. And try to take a big belly breath here. Inhale, belly expands, pushes into the ground. It actually translates to the low back. Exhale, let your low back muscles relax. If the head is turned, turn it the opposite direction to counter twist it for one more breath. Inhale, chin forward, hands underneath the shoulders. Flatten out the tops of the feet, energize the legs. Inhale, chest up, Bhujangasana Cobra pose. Slide the elbows directly forward underneath those shoulders. Knife the edge, pinky edge of the hands into the ground. Press into the ground. Upper arm bones are perpendicular to the floor, right under the shoulders. Webbing of thumb and index fingers turn in, grabbing a hold of those elbow creases to check our alignment. Now the back half of the body can be a little bit more relaxed now. So I'm relaxing the glutes. My heels are just flopping open. And what I'm doing with my upper body is pressing the elbows down and then pulling the crown of my head forward and up. And we should feel the stretch for our abdominals here. Feel those lower ribs pulling forward and up. Crown of the head stretches up. So nice back bend, extension, decompression for the spine. We'll do our little neck stretch. So on our exhale, let's look over our right shoulder, see how far we can see. Inhale back. Exhale, look over that left shoulder, see how far we can see. Inhale back. Now back to strengthening, and then we've all 10 fingers, super strong arms. Tuck those toes under. Look to your knuckles. You're gonna start to push into the ground. You're gonna pull that low belly in and up. Hip creases up, push into the floor, scoop that tailbone, thighs come up, kneeling forearm plank. So the contact points are the forearms, the knees, and the toes. Those of us that want a little bit more, you can try to just lift one knee at a time, keeping one knee down, or float both knees up. And we're gonna breathe happy thoughts here for 30 seconds this morning. Waking up all those muscles, especially around the torso, compact those hips. Just 10 more seconds. Keep pushing into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale and exhale. Good job. Let it go. Melt the thighs and the belly back down to the ground. Look forward gently. And then exhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, bring the chin back down to the floor. Pull the elbows in, tuck the toes. Pull that low belly in, press the ground away from us as you try to push back up to kneeling plank. Stack the knees underneath the hips. We'll do some baby cat-cows to give our back a little bit of stretch from our strengthening. And then tuck the toes under, hands walk forward a few inches. Pull the low belly in to float the knees up, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So for some of us, this may be our first down dog, so we'll take some time here, a few deep breaths to stretch out the back of the body. Pedal those heels, sinking one heel at a time to the ground. The opposite leg, the knee is bending, and we can also work on stretching out the crease of the toes there. Root through that mound of index finger and thumb, but roll those upper arm bones away from the ears so the neck is long and loose.
And then let's try to cultivate some stillness in our pose, sinking the heels towards the mat, whether they touch or not. Feet should be nice and parallel. Find some symmetry back there. Bend the knees if you have a little tension in that back. Inhale, look forward, step or walk feet to hands. Forward fold, take your modifications if you're not practicing forward folds. Either by just coming upright and standing in Tadasana or bending the knees, hands or elbows to thighs. Move to the four corners of the feet. Continue to pull in and up. You can think about the pelvic floor muscles now, trying to contract and lift Mula Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha should still be pulling in and up. But do try to let the arms, head, neck go a little bit if that's okay for the body, even ragdolling here. And we will do our little bit of back strengthening here as well. So our halfway lifts, hands to shins or higher, contract the back muscles to open the heart, float the chest, gaze slightly forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, squeeze the back. Don't jam those knees. Those of us that want a little bit more, you may locust your arms beside the torso, palms face each other. Exhale, fold. One more, inhale, halfway lift with locust arms if you like, working the upper back as well. Exhale, we'll all sit straight back into Utkatasana, bringing our arms forward and up. So holding here today, if you've had lots of tension around your neck and shoulders, just simply bring hands into Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Make sure your feet are parallel, toes pointing forward, knees pointing to toes, low belly still pointing in. Going right into our little bit of balance. So focus the eyes on one point. Squeeze to lift your right foot from the floor. So try not to lean too much. Use more of your muscles to get that lift up. Exhale it down. There'll be a little bit of a lean, but as much as possible, squeeze to lift the left foot up. Exhale it down. Just try to maybe sink a little further back and down. Good. Inhale, we're going to rise all the way up. Then we're going to lift our heels up, and we're going to reach up to the ceiling. Turn your palms out. Exhale, float the heels down. Bring the arms down. Float right into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel our posture here. Let's try to pick up all of our toes. Feeling that connection. Mound a big toe inner heel, mound a pinky toe outer heel. Try to touch just the big toes to the ground. Try to add the pinky toes. Turn the palms forward, spread those fingers nice and wide. Unlock the knees. Draw front body to back body. Feel the heart opening and feel the head floating. Big breath in, reach it up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. If your toes are still lifted, good job, let them relax. So we might need to reorganize ourselves on our mat. We'll do our standing pose where we're flowing from warrior two, I can't talk this morning, warrior two, reverse warrior into extended side angle. That's what I was trying to say. So middle of our mat, I'm gonna take a nice big step open, nice and wide, and extend our arms out so we're in our neutral position. So take a moment to readjust. You just wanna make sure that your feet are secure and you're not sliding out on your mat. Ankles might be as wide as the wrists. Point your toes straight forward. So the lateral edge of the feet should be running parallel to the short end of our mat. And try to use your triceps and lats to hold the arms up. Don't use your neck and traps on top of your shoulders. Keep the neck soft. From here, pick up those right toes. At the thigh bone, roll your right hip open, pointing the toes forward. Shoulders remain over the hips. The only thing we do on our exhale is bend the right knee and bring the knee over the ankle. Upper body should still be straight and tall. But have a look forward and down. You should see your big toe sticking out to the inside of the knee. If your knee is collapsed inward, more effort, outer knee to outer hip, or we need to adjust that foot. So like I said the other day, I actually bring myself into a heel to toe alignment. That's how tight inwardly rotated I am in my hips. From here, Drishti moves over those right fingertips, Virabhadrasana 2. And now we'll turn our palms up, and on our inhale, we'll bring the left arm down and the right arm up to reverse our warrior. Now I want us to concentrate on these muscles that wrap around our waist, and on our exhale, we'll bend the right elbow, bringing it to our thigh, reaching that left arm over the ear. The Utthita Parshva Konasana, extended side angle. We got to use our muscles again. Inhale pulls us all the way back up and back into reverse warrior. Keep the lunge in the knee. Our exhale tips us back to extended side angle. Inhale, muscles pull us up and back. Good. Exhale, tip. Now one more time. Inhale, reverse that warrior. This exhale brings us back to Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2 pose. Drishti over the right fingertips. Now we'll just take some breaths and stillness here. Nice strong upper body, both feet equally weighted into the ground, especially that back heel. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, relax the arms down. Turn those toes forward. Some of us that made our adjustments need to re-parallel our feet. Give your shoulders and arms a little noodling here. Inhale, arms open wide. Pick up the left toes. It's at the thigh. We're rolling that thigh bone open to point the toes forward. And then the only movement, there's no leaning. The upper body doesn't do anything. It stays right where it is. We just flex that left knee, bringing the knee right over the ankle. Good. Now look down. What do we see? As our knee collapses inward, more action, outer knee to outer hip. Maybe it's just the structure of our body and I need to support that by moving my front foot around. Shoulders over hips. Drishti over the left fingertips. Squeeze your triceps, the backs of your upper arms that we already worked in our chaturangas. Virabhadrasana 2. Turn the palms up with our breath. Inhale, right arm down, left arm up, reverse warrior. A little bit of lateral extension and back bending. Exhale, strong waistline around the core. Bend the left elbow to thigh, reaching the right arm over the ear, trying to form this nice straight side plank. Use your muscles. Inhale, pull yourself all the way back and up. Exhale, control the tipping. Reach it over. Inhale, pulls us up and back. Drishti, you can look upwards in reverse warrior. Exhale, tipping. One more time, pull yourself up and back, reverse warrior. This exhale comes back to Virabhadrasana 2, arms parallel, Drishti over fingertips, hold and breathe. Big breath in, big breath out. Now inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, relax the arms, just let them go. Turn those toes forward, little noodly in the arms. From here, heel toe, those feet back together, or just step right back into mountain pose. Let's turn our palms forward and just come back to a neutral position, let the heart open. And now we're gonna move into our bigger balancing poses. So again, we might need to rearrange ourselves on our mat. We'll go from eagle to flying eagle. So if you have stuff behind you or in front of you, we'll want to move around. So from Tadasana, bring the insides of the feet and legs to touch. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, sweeps the right arm under as tight as you can get it. You're welcome to hold the shoulders, pulling them down, backs of the hands touch, or try to wrap palm to palm. Bringing those elbows into the body and trying to bring the fingertips just below the tip of the nose, forming that eagle's beak. And then we sit straight back and down into Utkatasana. Option A is to stay right here. B, just cross the foot over. Cross your right foot over. Option C, pick the right leg up, sandwich it on top of the left thigh. foot floats out. And then the final option is to wrap that foot around the calf or the ankle. And now it's all about squeezing and breathing, holding the body nice and tight towards that midline. Use your core, pull it inward. Visualize that straight line from the tip of the nose to the nose, toes, knees a little bit to the right, elbows a little bit to the left. For 3, 2, 1, as gracefully as possible, we're gonna try to unwind. Now we might be more in this upright version of like a flying locust. Arms are beside the torso. I'm using the strength of my back right side to lift the leg up. If you'd like to try to take it into Warrior 3, the leg lifts, the spine stays long, eventually bringing the body parallel to the floor. Arms may extend out from the shoulders or to the heart center. Last option is to stretch them forward. Don't strain the low back. If we feel a little weeble wobbly, totally normal, we'll just come back to it. We'll try to hold here for 3, breathing, 2, 1. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up. Exhale, the foot comes down, arms foot out, pause and breathe. Again, those are invigorating poses. We get a little rush when we release that eagle pose. So a little bit of lightheadedness is natural after that blood rushes out through the body. Always come back to the breath. Other side, bring the inside of the feet and legs to touch. Turn the palms forward. Big breath in, reach up. Exhale, left arm sweeps under as tight as you can get it. Shoulders, backs of the hands, or wrap palm to palm, crossing the thumbs. Wherever we are, try to just get your shoulders down, elbows down. So we're also stretching out the top of the shoulders and our neck. Draw the belly in and sit back and down, Utkatasana. Stay here. Step left foot over, or lift the left thigh up, sandwich it on top of the right. Squeeze. Maybe try to wrap. And then we tighten and squeeze and breathe as much as we can. Knees a little bit to the left, elbows a little bit to the right. Focus your drishti. Ooh, nice strong eagles for 3, 2, big squeeze, 1. Inhale, we unravel. Moving right into standing locust. Squeeze the back of the left side of the body. We might try to do a little bit of a tilt, but it's the leg that lifts, that brings the upper body down. The gaze should remain slightly forward. Hips as level as possible. Take your different arm positions, whatever works best for your back. And give me 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lifts the head up. Exhale, we land our eagle on the ground. We float our arms out right into mountain pose. Keep your focus. Equal weight in the feet. Observe and watch. Turn those palms out. Inhale, big stretch. Stretch everything out. Gentle gaze up to the thumbs for a gentle back bend. Bring the palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, time for another big transition. So if we moved around, let's come back towards the front of our mats here. Standing right back and tall. Tadasana, feet parallel. Unlock those knees. Front body to back body. Nice relaxed head on top of shoulders. Last chance, big breath in, stretch everything out. Drishti upwards, gentle back bend. Exhale, micro bend your knees, hinge from the hips, arms come up wide and down into Uttanasana. Taking our variation, whatever that might be. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend knees, plant hands, big step back into Shantalanasana, plank pose. So you get to choose whatever plank. You can be a straight arm kneeling plank, full plank.
If it's better for you to go back to forearm plank, you're welcome to do that as well. And we're gonna hold this one for some time, breathing. Pull that low belly in. Compact the hips. Head stays in line with the spine. Feel strong around that whole waistline. Stay here. Want to be a little playful today. Try to lift the right leg up a couple inches from the floor. Good job. Bring it down. Try that left leg. Good job. Bring it down. Right arm reaches forward. There's a little bit of a lean. That's okay. Awesome. Bring it down. Left arm. Bring it down. We got this. Give me one more big breath in. One more big breath out. And then inhale, lift the hips up. And then exhale, move them back and down. Let the heels sink down. Downward facing dog. Good job. Pedal those heels. Stretch out the back. Inhale, heels up, stretch out those toes. Exhale, drop the knees to the ground, point the toes. Traditional Balasana, we keep the knees and feet together. We sink the hips to the heels and slide the hands all the way back to the feet, palms up. Dropping the head to the ground, dropping the weight of the arms to the ground. Take a breath or two here. Hands under shoulders, tuck the chin. We'll round it up if it's an option. You're always welcome to transition differently. Rolling up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, until the head comes up on top of the shoulders. Rock over to either hip and bring those hands forward. Hands forward, feet forward. All right, so let's grab. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna do our roll down and roll ups with or without a prop. If you have the prop, then we're gonna go right into our variation of yogi sit-ups. Now these aren't for everybody, and I realize that. So if you don't wanna do the roll down and roll ups today, one option is to sit up tall and play with Navasana or boat pose, lots of different options, full boat pose. Another option is to go onto your back and do your happy baby or revisit bridge pose. So feel free to make it work for you. We're all different. Doing roll down and roll up, you don't need a prop. You can just extend the fingertips forward like we normally do. But if you want to add another dimension, you could get crazy and use your heavy book, but that's really going to put some work on your back and your abs. I'm going to have my little exercise ball or your yoga block, okay? We will bring the feet together. So what we look like from the front of the mat is the soles of the feet are to the ground, insides of the feet are touching, and the knees are opening wider than the hips. Have space behind the body. We'll reach our fingertips forward, pull that belly in, and we'll lean back a little bit. Good job. All right, some of us got our props. And then inhale, we come up, and we just go little by little. And we are trying to target each vertebra. This is articulation. Exhale, let's try to get onto that sacrum a little bit more. Inhale, use those muscles to come up. Exhale, we're going to take it down into the lumbar. And inhale, come up. Good job doing it with me. I love it. I need the help today. You guys got to help me out. Every muscle in my body is so sore. Go a little further into the mid-back. And inhale, come all the way up. Even further, tucking around. Here we go. Good job. Low back, mid back, tips of those shoulder blades. Inhale, pulling ourselves up. Good job. A little further. Exhale, round it down. Vertebra, vertebra, vertebra. Shoulders, back of the head. Inhale, all the way up. Good job. Here we go. This one we just take nice and slow. Pull that belly in. Yes. A little bit. Vertebra, vertebra, vertebra. Shoulders, head. If we have that prop, we'll just bring it overhead. Arms reach overhead. Straighten the legs out down the middle of the mat. Long body stretch. So relax the belly here, let that low back arch so we can stretch out those abs, give our back a break, flex the feet. Now on the exhale, walk your feet in and bring your arms down. You have the prop, you can just hold it in front of the belly here. So I'm gonna start with a modification. And I'll use the block because it will probably more have a block just to make sure it feels okay for you all. So I'll start with the modification and then I'll show you how to build on this. So if you're using a yoga block, you're going to want to have it either on its medium or low setting, not necessarily the wider setting, but you can explore however that works best for you. Bring the shoulders under, pull the low belly in, and draw your knees up. So our shins are about parallel to the floor, the feet are flexing. Now I'm going to take my arms back overhead with the prop. I'm going to point the toes of the feet and touch my toes to the ground. This is my inhale. Now my exhale, I'm going to pull my knees in. I'm going to place that block on its low setting between my knees. Inhale, arms go back overhead, the toes touch. The block is now between the knees. Exhale, squeeze, pull it up, grab the block. Inhale, block overhead, touch the toes. So each breath, the block is moving to the knees. Inhale, opens. Exhale, squeeze, block to hands. Inhale, open. Now, if we want a little bit more, I'll do one more here. We'll bring the block into our hands. We'll touch the toes, block overhead. Now this time, pull the knees up and straighten the legs up. This is a little trickier. Now what you're going to do is exhale, place the block up into the feet, and try not to bend the knees. Now you got to squeeze that block, and inhale, you open up so the legs come out. Now maybe you don't go very far, keep your low back grounded. Exhale, you got to reach up, try not to bend the knees, use your core, grab the block. Inhale, open up. So these are these double yogi sit-ups, transferring the block each time. Inhale, block the feet open. Exhale, reach up. Block the hands. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze to reach up. These are pretty powerful. Good job. I love it. You guys are trying it. Now you can always go back to the bent knee version. You can also just do our normal leg lifts without any prop whatsoever. Okay, make it work for you. You really got to squeeze to transfer that block. So we'll try one more, and whenever we get back with the prop and our hands, we'll keep it there. So when you have the prop in your hands, you'll open back up to our legs out, arms overhead. Now exhale, bend the knees into the body. Bring the arms with the prop onto the shins and just relax for a moment. You can rock side to side. And then drop the feet flat to the floor, close to those sit bones. Parallel the feet. We still have our yoga block. Place it on its low setting between those inner thighs. Draw the shoulder blades under, upper arm bones beside the body. Toes point forward, knees stay in line with the toes. Squeeze the back side, inhale, lift up, and holding Setu Bandhasana now. So we can continue to walk our shoulder blades under, left, right, left, right. Interweave the fingers underneath the body. Squeeze the block if you have it, tighten up your glutes. All the weight's in the shoulders, not the neck. Drishti's on one spot on the ceiling. Hold and breathe for 3. Try to take a big belly breath. 2. One more breath. And 1. We'll release the hands and the shoulders out. Melt our low back to the ground. Take the prop out. Little rock of the knees side to side. Draw the belly in to hug the knees in. Keep the knees and the feet parallel to each other. Reach the arms up from the shoulders. Exhale, spinal twist. Bring the knees over to the right. Add props under the thighs as needed. Right hand on top of the knee to intensify the twist. Sink the left shoulder down, turn the head to the left. Close the eyes, start to relax. Bring everything out, let it go.
Our inhale will bring the head and the knees. You can float them back up one at a time to center. If we need to do a little scooch before the other side, do so. Knees and feet parallel. Exhale, knees to the left. Left hand on that top knee or thigh, intensify the twist. Sink the right shoulder into the ground, turn the head to the right. Close the eyes, deep breaths to relax. Slowing the breathing down as we come to the end of our practice. Relax the face, the mouth, the throat. Our next inhale brings the head and the knees back up to center. Realign. Try to hug those knees in, maybe reaching for opposite elbows across the shin bones. Floating the nose up to the knees to stretch out the whole back. Big breath in. And this next exhale, we get to let it all go. So moving into our final relaxation, our place will absorb all the benefits of our practice today. If you feel comfortable where we are, we can stay here, rolling the arm bones out beside the body, palms up, knees bent in together, knees falling open, Baddha Konasana, or a nice big stretch out for the legs, feet wider than the hips, flopping open in Shavasana. Add your props, blankets, pillows, eye coverings, anything that's going to help the body relax more quickly and more deeply. Rock the head out, poof the cheeks, wiggle out the mouth, tongue, and jaw. Get all the wiggles out. And then we'll press that pause button, cultivating stillness in the body. Feel the weight of the body sink into the ground. Relaxing all the muscles of the body. Loosening up all the joints. Letting go of any expression across the face. Release the tongue and lower jaw to gravity. Feel the weight of the arms, relaxing all the way down into those hands, the fingertips, the centers of the palms. Relax the weight of the legs, all the way from the hips to the knees, knees to the ankles. Relax the feet, the toes, the soles of the feet. Relaxing around the torso, softening the chest and heart, the back of the heart. Down the back into the low back. And then all the way around the waist into the abdomen. Relax the belly completely. Maybe noticing a subtle rise and fall of the belly with the breath. The breath is easy and quiet. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back to the peaceful breath, or concentrate the mind's eye, this navel center, our place of self-confidence, esteem, and willpower. Giving ourselves just one more moment to let go, to feel a sense of surrender.
and sinking into Shavasana. Slowly coming back to our breath. Breathing life back into the body. Waking up toes and fingertips, rocking the head. Bringing the inside the legs down the middle of the mat. Inhaling those arms overhead, stretching the whole body out again. Big breath in, spread those fingers and toes. Stretch out the sides, the front and back of the body. And then exhale, float the arms down, walk the feet in. Draw the belly in to hug the knees in, rock out the back here. Right arm falls beside the head, rolling onto our right side, pausing for a moment in Supta Balasana, sleeping baby pose. Turning the heart to the ground, pushing into the ground to bring our bodies back up. Revisiting any comfortable seated posture. We'll take a couple more breaths together today. Sitting up tall through the crown of the head, finding the sit bones. Being mindful of our space, reaching the arms out beside the body, palms up. Big breath in to flip those arms up and to gather up everything we need for the rest of our day. Turning the palms out, exhaling, floating the fingertips all the way back to the floor and getting to let go of all that other junk we don't need today. One more time, inhale, arms up. Palms touch, exhaling, hands to heart. Humbly bowing the head down to the heart to honor and thank ourselves, our bodies, each other, and anyone else that made it possible for us to connect and practice our yoga together today. Om Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. And I thank you all so much for waking up and joining all of us for our Sunday morning yoga. I feel like I can kind of move again.